I have two men here. One of them is one of our old good friends, Carl McDonald, and the other one is Mr. Jack Hamilton from someplace up in Michigan. Now, I have a little idea where Michigan is, but I don't know where Ortonville is. But anyway, he's from Ortonville, Michigan. Now, Mr. Hamilton, I'd like to ask you about your visit here. Are you here with your family, or how long have you been away from home?
We've been gone since the day after Christmas, and we traveled down through Louisiana and southern Texas, over into Mexico overnight, and now we're heading back up north, get back in home, got to get the girls back to school. I got two girls with me.
Well, now, you were visiting Carl?
Yeah, I've been staying over, just stopping getting a few cheap groceries, you know, free groceries, in fact.
Well, I'd like to suggest to you just eat hearty, because Carl he's on relief, you know, and he gets his commodities down here at the courthouse. And you might get some if you go to if you take Carl down there with me and introduce you. You might get a sack full of those. But you know, I'd like to make this observation. I guess they know me too well, and I can't get in it. But anyway, back to this thing now. I'd like to refer back to an incident that occurred here many years ago. And how long has it been since you Peckerwoods had this coon convention here?
7 years this coming March.
Well, why in the heck haven't you had another one?
Well, nobody's invited me back. I guess maybe that's the answer as far as I'm concerned. I never was treated better in my life than I was down here, and met Carl Johnson, a lot of many friends. In fact, I met you here and was on a recording, I believe, at that time.
Yes, I remember that. Now, Carleen over here, I want a record here now that you are going to invite this Peckerwood and all the rest of the coon hunters back here.
I'd certainly like to, and Bland Pittman and I have anticipated having this wild coon hunt in March come back down here. Before, it was kind of a slipped-up proposition on us, Bill, and we didn't have the accommodations for him. And in fact, when I met this Michigan man here, Mr. Jack Hamilton, he was looking for a can opener down here in the store, and I asked him where he slept the night before, and he said out there in that truck with them hounds. And I said, well, you can't do that down here in the south. We're going to take care of you. And so I took him up, and he stayed with me all the time, and our friendship got greater. And finally I fooled around and went up to Michigan, and I visited him up there, and he just entertained me so loyal until we've been great friends ever since that time, Bill.
Well, did you stay with him long enough to eat up all of his grub like he's staying with you and eat up all your grub?
Just about. He carried me everywhere, and I just enjoyed it so very much. And he knows all that country up there, and he coon hunts and he sells dogs, and he has his store, and he took me out on his farm, and we went coon hunting up there that night. And it's certainly wonderful the way he treated me. And in fact, I didn't think about eat so much, Bill, as I did coon hunting and just running around with him. He's just fine.
And then the grub was free, too. That's one thing about it.
Yes, sir. You betcha. He has a heart. He certainly does.
Well, now, Mr. Hamilton, to get serious about this dog business, if we can. Now, what is the average price of a well-trained coon dog?
Well, that depends a lot on where you find him. The dog salesmen or men that ship dogs out naturally have to have a profit. They have to be in business, and there's usually pretty close to $100 difference between their price and one that you run into back in the hills somewhere. At the same time, you're spending yourself a lot of time back there that they're doing that work for you, and let's not underestimate them, because they have to ship some pretty good dogs in order to stay in business, because us fellas all get together like we did here in Hugo 7 years ago. We meet every year, and you take a man that isn't too legitimate, it's no time until we all know him, and he's out of business because he just don't sell a dog to a coon hunter.
Well, now, pardon me for breaking in on you. What is the highest price you ever heard of that was paid for a coon dog?
Well, for your night dog, the dog that we actually hunt coon with, when they get into $500, you're getting them pretty well up there. But the field trial men, they stop at nothing. because of the winnings. They're running dogs or they're race dogs. They get in the racehorse category. But then again, we've got such dogs as this Bally dog in the Walker breed that's sold for $3,500 as a stud dog. So I guess maybe it's hard to say just what, but the average coon dog sells between $200 and $500. What I mean, a real, honest-to-goodness coon dog. There's lots of $35 ones. Don't misunderstand me.
Well, now then, who should we write to issue an invitation to the coon hunters to come back and hold their convention here again? I imagine we've got lots of coons out here in the country. You know, our people are down here have gotten to where they're too lazy to coon hunt. So the coons are just about to take over the country. Who should we write to? You or who?
Well, not to me, but I don't know. I think that you old fellas that used to catch these coons and hunt these coons are getting over the hill, and you just haven't broke in any young men. That's probably what's the matter with your coon hunters down here.
Them's fighting words, I'll tell you. Well, all right, now I'll take it. I wasn't born yesterday, and I used to have some coon dogs. That is, my brothers and I had some coon dogs in the neighborhood back there, and they were not only coon dogs, but they'd fight. And boy, we had all those old hounds.